Because what I want to do is, we're going to go to Chapter 2. We're going to go to the hotel, and then where I started, we're going to actually go there, and I can show you all my little techniques, I think. And, yeah, we'll just go from there. So, normally in the level, you'll have about 7,000, give or take. I have 10,000 because I was taking my time and picking up Viewtifuls as I was going along, so don't worry about it. By the end, you should have, by the end of 3-1, you should have 30,000 for the VFX Charger. The Charger is next on your list, so keep that in mind. Boomerangs, sliding, Charger. Okay? So, how this works now, the moment this chapter starts up, you're going to skip the cutscene, okay? You're going to hold right, and what I typically do is you could do 2 slides or you could do 3 slides. I would do 3 personally. So you hold right, you hold Mach speed. The moment you land on the ground, slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, double jump onto the platform, which should be rising at this point because you're holding Mach speed. Because platforms, you know, rise and fall depending on whether you're using Mach speed or slow, respectively. So let's see what happens.
Let's get it on.
Holding right Mach speed, 3 slides, double jump. There you go. That's how you get through the first section. Give it a little bit of time once you land on the platform, and you can double jump over that section. The sewage, rather. And we'll move on.
Let's take a break.
Now, for this next part. Remember that trick I was showing you about the Bianco Billy, when he pulls out the pink of his guns? So the moment his guns turn pink, you hold slow, and you stun him. The bullet doesn't have to be slow to stun. Keep that in mind. So the moment you punch the bullet back at him, let go and follow up. Jump up. Done.
Take a break.
Piece of cake. The moment the Bianco Billies are dead, slide your way across. And the visual cue for this is going to be this arc of reels. That'll be your visual cue for actually moving around through this area. And, you know, like knowing when to jump. So you go, visual cue, jump over. Piece of cake. Captain Blue's interesting. This fight is... Oh, you rascal, you. Come here. This fight's interesting because one of 3 things can happen. I'm only going to be able to show you one. I'll see if I can get the ideal strategy. I'll try to explain it first. You're going to slide all the way to the right, and you're going to activate the Captain Blue fight, okay? The moment the fight starts, Captain Blue is going to be on your right, immediately to your right. What you're going to want to do is Mach speed over. Don't slide. You don't want to go too far. And you're going to want to stand right about here. And I want to activate the cutscene. On this spot, Captain Blue, he will actually not teleport to your left. Stand in this spot, and one of 3 things will happen. He'll either just stand there, which is optimal. That's what you want. He'll stand there for a little bit and then move. That's not too bad either. Or he'll move right after you. That is the worst case scenario. Let's see what happens, and I'll walk my way, or we'll walk through it. So, okay. So immediately, I got the good pattern. This is an optimal pattern, so he's standing there. So what I'm going to do is I punch, and I pull out a boomerang immediately, okay? What's going to happen is, the moment it gets near him, I'm going to hold slow and make sure it hits twice.
Let's take a break.
One to take a shield, and one to do damage. After he gets hit by the boomerang, I'm going to follow up with 5 punches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's take a break.
Now, on that 5th punch, you need to start buffering a boomerang. And unfortunately, because I paused in the middle of that 5th punch, I wasn't able to do it. So, actually, I'll let him kill me here. Yeah, it's difficult to do it, actually, like, while pausing. Unfortunately, it kind of screws with my motion. So what you do is, on that 5th punch, you buffer out a boomerang, and you throw it again at him. And what'll end up happening is you'll knock out his shield, and you'll get another hit on him, and then you'll punch him one more time, and that'll finish him off. And that's all it takes. It's actually very simple. Again, I apologize. I had a little bit of difficulty buffering. I can't buffer from a pause, so... There we go. Okay, let's try this again.
Ready? Action.
See if we get a good pattern here. Good pattern. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Buffer. 1, 2. Done. That's the Captain Blue fight. That's how it's supposed to be done. For this section, zoom punch, zoom kick, zoom jump, zoom zoom. Zoom punch. Zoom kick. Zoom jump. Zoom zoom. And we'll jump right into the sewer. Okay. Now, these orbs. These orbs are very interesting. There's two ways to do this. You can mock kick them, or you can normal kick them. The way you could do this, really, if you do a normal kick, make sure you're in the center of the orbs. If you do a mock kick, make sure you're on the far right or the far left of them. Because if you're not, let's say you're in the center, mock kicking won't work. Because what ends up happening is, I believe the one on the one opposite to you is actually hit first. It's a little weird how it works out. So what I would do is, if I want to mock kick them, which is what I typically do, I'll jump all the way to the right-hand side and turn around and mock kick. And that's successful. So you can do this. You can do a standard. I don't recommend it, but you can. Or you can do this, where you jump in, rather turn around and mock kick. It's up to you, whatever floats your boat. This jump's interesting. This one's going to take a little bit of finesse if you haven't done it before. So typically, the moment that door closes, I'm standing normally. Okay? So I'm standing right about here. And what you'll see me do, and I could show you how to do it, but you really got to do it yourself to get a feel. I typically go slide, slide, and then I end up near this pink box, all in the while I'm holding mock speed. And then I jump for these two boxes here. Now, one thing I should note too, here's another case of visual cues. Use this water to determine where the boxes actually are. So the water is always over these two boxes. So in this case, you see this big waterfall? That's a dead visual cue right there. That's an important visual cue. For this box, same deal. There's a waterfall. Use them to your advantage. It comes in handy. So, like I said, you'll see me go 1, 2, 1, 2, and normally the boxes are a little bit lower. They were higher for this case, but that would have been a good jump. That actually would have been fine. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Use the water cues to your advantage. That's key. For this section, we're just going to mock speed right through. Mock sliding is just, it's fine. And we'll stop here for a second. So, this section, as I mentioned during AGDQ, if you zoom, mock speed, and kick, you're invincible to lasers. I don't know why, but you are. And actually, what I can do to show you that, give me 1 second here. I have to get rid of these guys first. They're going to troll me. Pardon me. Pardon me. Pardon me. Okay. Come on. Actually, before I do the mock zoom kick, let me show you one thing. Zoom, slow kick, makes you invincible to 95% of attacks in this game. Attacks. Not just projectiles, attacks. You could survive ridiculous crap by just doing this consistently. It is silly. I don't know why it works, but I'll take it. And it comes in handy for higher difficulties. But I digress. Let's stand here, and we'll zoom kick. No hits. Goes right through me. Oh, laser up the crotch. That's uncomfortable. See? Invincible. A little silly how it works, right? Now let's see if I can do mock kicking here. And it goes right through you. See? And that works for projectiles and fire and certain types of lightning. So, fun fact. But what we're going to do here, we're going to jump on this platform, and what I typically do to be safe, there's two ways you can do this. If you're quick enough, you don't actually have to do what I'm doing. I do it because it's just as fast and it's just as safe. So, or actually it's safer rather, and it's just as fast. I will jump on this platform, I'll zoom in immediately, and mock kick. So zoom in immediately, mock kick, and what will end up happening typically, the moment I actually line myself up with this laser, another visual cue, wouldn't you know, the moment I line up with this laser, I actually hold left, not diagonal, I hold left, and I zoom mock jump twice, and that'll give you enough height to reach the flag at the top. So 1, 2. Now, I couldn't do it there because the laser placement's off. I screwed up the cutscene because I'm trying to show you guys what's going on here, but let's see if we can do it here on time. Like that. And there you go. The moment you see that laser, zoom, mock kick, double jump. There you go. Again, it's something you have to get used to. And see ya, Fire Punch. Thanks for stopping by. And that's really about it. That's the extent of it. So, and for this next part, what we're going to do is we're going to slide across. And we're going to hold slow for this lightning to charge that battery in the back. And we're going to slide. And we're good.
Let's take a break.
So, Joker. For this Joker fight, excuse me, my God. What we're going to do for this Joker fight, there's a couple ways you can do it. You could actually just go up to him, what I used to do, actually, not too long ago, as a matter of fact. Run up to him, slow zoom, punch. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. What I do now, if you actually, you go up to him, you do a slow punch first, you don't zoom. Slow punch, and then 2 slow zoom red hot 100s, you can skip actually forcing him to be dizzy and you can kill him right away. If you go to slow zoom red hot 100, it'll actually, you'll punch him once, punch him again, then you'll punch out his shield, then he'll be dizzy and then he'll bounce against the wall. You don't have to do that. So we're going to do 1 slow punch and then 2 slow zoom punches, okay? So let's see what happens. Skip. 1, 1, 2, done. No dizzy, no bouncing against the wall, nothing like that. It's a piece of cake, one smooth movement. It is a little odd to get used to do something like this, 1, 1, 2, but it can be done. And fun fact too, on that note, with how zoom works in this game, what you can actually do is you can punch, and you can actually cancel out the animation for your slow punch into a slow zoom punch, like so. 1, 1, 1. So you can theoretically, actually, you can get 2 punches for the price of 1 in a very smooth movement. It's pretty cool. Like so. And you'll know it'll connect when you see the pink coming off of Joe. And there you go. So what we'll do here, with the way this game works, the tutorial, you just got slow and zoom, or you just got zoom rather. Oh, I'll go over Leo a little bit. Leo is very different. There's a reason why I do a lot of stuff to Leo in there. That's a lot more complicated than you might think. But I digress. For these slots, I don't use zoom. You could feel free to. The only reason I don't like using zoom is because I don't have access to the immediate starting uppercut. I don't like that, so I'm able to see. So I just go 1, 2, and then you can uppercut if you want. Uppercut cancel. So 1, 2, uppercut cancel. So you need the V's and you need the coins. One more thing too. Whenever you end a cutscene, whenever you put a key in, whenever you force a helicopter to explode and you have to wait for a cutscene to activate, always make sure you're punching and kicking. So when I do this, I'm actually not doing it for fun. That actually speeds the cutscene up, believe it or not. If you just stand there, it just waits. Like, you actually have to wait for it to start yourself. So, mash it out. Doesn't matter if you're on the ground, if you're in the air, whatever. Just mash, punch, and kick, and you can actually force the cutscene to speed up. That works for this section, that works for Chapter 1, and that works for, again, any other section that has a cutscene where you have to just stand there. Like so. That speeds the cutscene up. Okay. Now, for this section, what we're going to do, I do not use Mach Speed here to fight enemies. I only use Mach Speed to fight. It may not look like it, but I'm actually using zoom only. The thing about Mach Speed in this game is that it actually deteriorates your damage output by a little bit. I would say you do about 95% of your normal punches and kicks. And if you use zoom and Mach Speed at the same time, it deteriorates your actual zoom output. So what I end up doing is, I zoom to take out the 4 Bianchis, and then I also zoom to take out the Verdi. And the thing about zoom too, remember from the tutorial when they show you, when you use zoom in this game, certain enemies they get scared. So they just like sit there and they're like shivering. Verdis and Bianchis fall for this. And you'll see me use it against them. Like so. See? Get scared, and you can finish them off. Now, because those guys are in the air typically, I will slow zoom punch to knock them right out. It's a little faster to do it, but that's the extent of it. So, and that's the first section. That's a case of just memorizing the spawns. So the moment you land, move a little bit to the right-hand side, and you'll get all of them to spawn at once. And then you can actually just, you know, you can take them out with Red Hot 100. Piece of cake. For this next section, we got to take out 5 Bianchis, and we got to take out 2 Rosettas. So, what I typically do is I zoom. 1, 2, 3. They fall right into me. Now, after I take them out, I'll do 2 slides, and I'll jump immediately to the right as soon as I can. And I was late, so what'll end up happening is the Rosettas will go after me, of course. But notice, let's see if I can get away from them here. Red Hot 100 doesn't break through their shields. You actually have to use slow to break through. And notice too, they're not actually affected by the zoom. They don't shiver in fear. They'll actually fight you right through it. So for Rosettas, you'll actually have to use slow zoom to take them down. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I am playing on GameCube, and Viewtiful Joe 2 sort of plays like Viewtiful Joe 1. Viewtiful Joe 2 has some very different strategies. So, the bus, I'm not even going to bother trying to explain. I do not quite understand it, to be honest. What I typically do is I hold slow, I get the boost up to kind of push the bus forward, and then what I do is I start hitting slow when the bus is at the white line, essentially, like right before it starts hitting the ramp. And when it changes colors, like that, just now, I let it go. Typically, that'll get me across. It's consistent most of the time. If anybody can figure that out, I would be grateful for it, because that is one of the very few things in this game that I don't quite understand. But anyway, the reason I need this bus to cross, I need 40 boomerangs, and I need 40 bombs, and they're all under the bus. this will be your inventory for the entire game, pretty much. You shouldn't need any other boomerangs, theoretically, or any other bombs for that matter. The one thing I should mention, too, the reason I don't actually hold slow here, or I'm sorry, I don't hold Mach speed, I don't just speed through it. If you move too quickly, you won't actually pick the items up, like so. So look at that. Out of the 40 bombs and the 40 boomerangs I could pick up, I only picked up 20 of the bombs. So let's go back. And now they're gone. So, fantastic. I don't need them. We're fine. We can move on. It's not a big deal. I can actually load up another save, so we're good to go. So if you move too quickly, you'll just go right by them and you won't pick them up. So you actually have to take your time. So go 1, wait, 1, wait, 1, wait, 1, wait. And then you can Mach slide right through. So, and you do need sliding, by the way. If you don't have sliding from a casual perspective, you can't pick this equipment up. And also there's a burger up back here if you want. I'm sorry, reels rather, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. That has the burger. No Viewtiful Joe 2 run though, I'm sorry, that takes too long. It's about an hour-long run. So, now, for the choppers here. There's two ways you can do this. I'm going to show you both because there's two of them. Why not? There's the old method where you just punch them to death. So in this version, in this mode, you actually have enough VFX. If you time it right, you could take down a chopper and just by slow zoom punching it. You should be able to take it down in one fell swoop. You do need a little bit of juice also, but you should be able to do it. The other method is the fast fuse method, and this method is a little bit more complicated because it takes some strict timing. And for those who aren't familiar with fast fuse, since I didn't really get a chance to explain it during AGDQ, normally when you have a bomb, you pull out a bomb. Anybody from Mario Brothers? You pull out a bomb, and Joe will actually kick it in front of him. That's the normal animation in this game. So you hold kick, and it'll kick it out in front. And it's got a set fuse to it. It'll explode after a certain period of time. So normally, from an offensive standpoint, that's really difficult to use because you're pushing the bomb away from you. You have no control over where it's going, and you're on a time limit. So it's kind of like, ugh, how do I use that effectively? So again, kick it in front. You know, you're stuck without it. Try to speed up the fuse. Doesn't work. Mach speed doesn't do anything to it. Even slow. Slow slows the fuse down a little bit, but you don't want to be using slow that much. It's a speedrun, right? Or maybe you do. Maybe you just want to play casually. I don't know. It's up to you. For fast fuse, though, how fast fuse works is, in the middle of the animation for pulling out the bomb, I'm actually going to tap Mach speed. I'm going to hold it down just for a little bit, and it'll explode at my feet. Theoretically. Like so. That is fast fuse. Very simple trick to do. So ideally, when I pull out a bomb now, since it explodes at my feet, I can control when it explodes and where it explodes. You can use explosions to your advantage. It's pretty cool. Now I get all that massive explosion damage. Explosive damage in this game is crazy. Use it to your advantage. You'll see me use it against Gelby, the big yellow dudes, the big muscular yellow dudes. You'll see me use it against choppers and harriers as well. And I actually use it against the two choppers here. It's very, very useful. So after it starts exploding, I would follow up with Red Hot 100, as you guys saw in AGDQ. Pretty straightforward stuff. And if you do it correctly, you can take the chopper down in no time, and you actually have about a quarter of your VFX bar left. But let's do it. We'll do this two ways. I'll show you the original method, if I can pull it off, and I'll show you the new method, the fast fuse method. Chopper time, baby. So, first method. Okay. Kind of slow. Meh. That's the original method. That's a safe method, though. It works. And after the cutscene, because of how this game works, when a cutscene ends, you get a full recharge of your VFX. So when the second chopper comes out, you'll have a full bar again. So you can just do it again. And there you go. The problem is that you won't be able to fast slide away. That's kind of a bummer. but, you know, it is what it is. Now, the new method, the more aggressive method, the one that requires good timing, is the fast fuse method. So let's try that. Notice the difference in my VFX bar there. Use the VFX bar as a way to gauge how much time it took for me to take down those choppers. I got about, gosh, I would say a quarter of a bar left. So that's about a 25... I have 25% of my bar left from doing that method, whereas the first method, it took my full bar to actually take the chopper down. So use that as a gauge for how quickly you can actually take an enemy down. Pretty cool. Speeds up the fight, and plus once you're done, you can use the rest of that VFX to mock slide to the hotel. And there's Chapter 2-1. And there you go. Piece of cake, right?